All right, we should be live. Make sure.
So I say we rolling.
All right, we should be live. All right, we good. All right. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakakwadash.
double honor to our apostle LG and ministry, rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. Peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful look out there, pushing his word and truth, aiming sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh Hashem, Shah, pushing to be up out of here. The brother Yashima, GMS Mississippi Camp. Got the brothers from GMS Mississippi Camp. We all, been tuning in, every Tuesday, going into the history and lining it up with the scriptures and what we want to do. Hold on. All right, and what we want to do. All right, and just go through the phases of Christianity, and see how Christianity started from the true believers, of Yahushua, into the paganism and Satanism that it is today. So we're gonna start with part one, the series that we hope to continue through the spirit, going into the phases of Christianity, from faith, to paganism, so we're gonna start off, all right, just going into the post Yahushua era of the believers. We're gonna go into the origin of their word Christian, and just get a backdrop of what was going on, during that time, from Nero all the way up to Constantine, and the alteration, that Constantine made, all right, to the faith, So what I wanted to do, share the screen. All right, so when you go to Wikipedia, and it goes into persecution of Christians in the Roman Empire. All right, so persecution of the Christians in the Roman Empire occurred intermittently over a period of over 2 centuries between the Great Fire of Rome in 64 AD under Nero and the Edict of Milan in 313 AD with the Roman emperors Constantine the Great and Litanius legalized the Christian religion. The persecution of the Christians in the Roman Empire was carried out by the state and also by local authorities on a sporadic and HOC basis, often at the whims of local communities. Starting in 250 AD, empire-wide persecution took place as an indirect consequence of an edict by the Emperor Decius. It said Decius. It said the edict was enforced for 18 months, during which time some Christians were killed, while others apostated, which means they denounced, Christianity. They denounced their beliefs, to escape execution. He said that these persecutions heavily influenced the development of Christianity, shaping Christian theology and structure of the church. The effects of the persecutions, including the writing and explanation of the defense of the Christian religion. All right, so the time period of 64 to 313 AD, you had different times where Christians would be under heavy persecution. Now, when we go to the reason why Christians, were under such persecution. All right. We see why is because they were true believers. Because when you go to the origin of Christianity, when you go to the beginning stage of what they call Christianity, it was not people that were truly following, you know, the teachings of the gospel, you know. So when you go to this is from BBC.UK history, and it says reason for persecution, and um it said pagans were probably most suspicious of the Christian refusal to sacrifice the Roman gods. This was an insult to the gods and potentially endangered the empire which they denied to protect. Furthermore, the Christian refusal to offer sacrifices to the emperor, a semi-divine monarch, had the whiff of both sacrilege and treason about it. It says, thus, well, in fact, before we read on, brother, can get that 2 Corinthians 6 and 14.
God. It's the book of 2 Corinthians 6 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Yep.
For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness?
Yeah.
What command you have light with darkness?
Yeah, and that's what, all right, the true followers of Yahweh was doing. You know, which we're gonna get into the term Christian. You know, a lot of authors say Christians, but these are the believers. You know, you can replace Christian from this context, you know, during this time period with believers. You know, followers of Yahweh. You know, and it says the main reason they was being persecuted was because of refusal, you know, to sacrifice to the emperor, you know, and to these different gods, the Roman gods, you know, which the main god was Apollos, you know, the sun god. All right, so when you go, it says, thus the classic test of the Christian's faith, you know, this back in the article from BBC.com, and it says the classic test of a Christian faith was to force him or her on pain of death to swear by the emperor and offer incense to his images or to sacrifice to the god. In the mid-second century account of the martyrdom of Polycarp, officials begged Polycarp to say Caesar is Lord and to offer incense to save his life. He refused. Later in the arena, he was asked by the governor to swear an oath by the luck of Caesar. He refused, and although he was apparently eager to meet his death, beef fighting had been declared closed for the day, so he was burnt alive instead. You know, so it was really, you know, going down during the time of persecution, and you had our people, Israelites, you know, that had been converted, all right, to the truth, you know, to the doctrine and the gospel of Yahweh, you know, and they was ready to take death for what they believe, and we know, you know, that's the commandment, you know, from Yahweh himself, man, you know, brother, stay in there, 2 Corinthians 6. But we're gonna get brother go ahead and get that Revelation 2 and 10, and then jump to
I got the Revelation 2 and 10.
You come on with
fear none of those. It's like
you got it.
Okay. Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil casts some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
Come. So you know, all right, you know, during the time of Revelation, you had heavy persecution, you know, and after this, you know, when the New Testament was beginning, you know, to be preached, you know, it was understood that you were supposed to take that death for what you believe, man. You know, and Yahweh Shai, and because when you go into Revelation, who is these letters addressed to, man? The 7 churches, and the gospel and the teaching of the 7 churches spread throughout their region, man. You know, so that's why you had people ready to take whatever death it was, man. You know, to have the spirit to be able to stand up to a lion, you know, or be burnt alive or whatever torture death, you know, that was offered. You know, you had the believer that was ready to take that, man. You know, so we see that there's nothing new under the sun, you know, and it all goes back to what? Bound down that knee, all right, to these other guys, man. You know, in this day and time, it's giving your energy to these other guys, man. It's gonna be their chip, you know. That's gonna be the ultimate test, you know, that the believers are going to face in this time, you know. But you see how during this time, all right, you had actually true believers, you know. So jump to 12, bro. Revelation 2 and 12.
What precept you say out?
Just verse 12 in that verse, in that chapter, I mean.
I'm catching the echo. I didn't hear the verse you mentioned, Doc. Salaki.
Verse 12, Revelation 2 and 12.
I got a strong echo out.
You want me to get it, bro?
Yeah, brother, get Revelation 2 and 12.
All right, this Revelation 2 and 12. It says, and to the angel of the church of Salakia, and to the angel of the church in what is that? Pergamos.
Yeah, Pergamos.
Pergamos. Write these things, say he which have the sharp sword with two edges.
Go ahead.
I know thy works and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is. And thou holdest fast my name and hast not denied my faith. Even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth.
Come. So Yahweh Shai was seeing these things, man. You know, we got to understand that Yahweh Shai was seeing the persecution of those that believed in him, you know, and he has all that anger pent up in him, man, the indignation, you know. So he was seeing what the believer was going through at that time, and that's why he was writing these letters to the churches to let them know, you know, how to carry themselves, man, you know, how to be ready to take their death, you know, and that he sees them and they was going to eventually get a crown of life. See, we in the reincarnation now, all right, where brothers finna receive their crown, and believers finna receive their crown, their reward, man. You know, but when you go into the commentary Bible, the Nelson Study Bible, for Revelation 2 and 13, and it says Satan's seat or throne may be a reference to the religious paganism centered in Pergamos. The city had a throne-like altar to the god Zeus, a temple of Asclepius symbolized by a serpent, and various temples dedicated to worship of the Roman emperor. Hamashiach here commends the church at Pergamos for remaining faithful in the midst of such satanic influence, you know, and we in that same position today, you know, where we're commanded to stay faithful in such a satanic, you know, influence, you know. So now you can go back to 2 Corinthians 6 and start at 15.
Got it. 2 Corinthians 6 and 15.
Yep.
And what concord had Hamashiach with Baal, or what part had he that believed it with an infidel?
Yep, go ahead.
And what agreement had the temple of the Most High with idols? For ye are the temple of the living power, as the Most High has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their power, and they should be my people.
And that proves to you that those Israelites in current, all right, was those believers in current was Israelites, because the only person the Lord said he would be their power and they will be his people was Israelites, man. He never promised that to any other nation, you know. So that lets you know that those same believers that were dying in the Colosseum for the faith was Israelites, man. You know, and they was living by this gospel. That's why they had that behavior. That's why they was being persecuted, because they refused to be joined into idols, man. You know, they would rather die. You know, you got it, bro. Keep reading.
17. Wherefore come out from among them and be ye separated, said the Lord,
Yep.
and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you.
Yep. That's the end.
Say what up?
That was the end of the chapter.
No, one more verse.
Oh, keep
2
going.
Corinthians 6:18. It will be a father unto you, and ye should be my sons and daughters, said the Lord Almighty.
Yeah, let you know that they're talking about Israelites, and just to prove that, can a brother get St. John 20? I believe that's 20. All right, because we all a spiritual family, even though we were scattered, even though we was amongst the Gentiles, but we one big family, man. You know, first by through the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you know, and the elect, all right, our family through lineage and through spirit, man. You know, but even Yahushua said that. Let's get 20 and 17, bro. St. John 20:17.
Go ahead, get it, Yaganon. You got it.
Yeah, I got it.
All
right,
Go ahead, bro.
This John 20:17, it says, Yahushua said unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren, and say unto them, I ascended unto my Father and your Father, and to my power and your power.
Come, you know, so they let you know that what, who he was talking to, because he said, I sent to my Father and your Father, to my power and your power. You know, so he said he will be our power and we will be his people. So who is Yahushua speaking to, man? He's speaking to Israel, you know, the believers at this time, man. You know, so the same people that think that the Apostle Paul is writing to, all right, is the same people that Yahushua is addressing, man, and that's Israel amongst the Gentiles, man. You see, so we're gonna get one more article. Well, I got two more.
I got a quick precept.
Yeah, bring it out, bro. Whatever y'all got, bring it out.
This is Zephaniah 3 and verse 9. It says, for then will I turn to the people a pure tongue, a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent.
Yep, you can break it down, bro.
You know, that name Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, man. That's the only true power, all right, of the whole entire earth, you know, starting with Israel. But just going into that John, I just want to back it up with that.
Come, you know, because all the scripture link up, you know, everything links up and makes sense, you know, in the spirit, man. You know, but when you try to read the Bible with an agenda, you know, the scriptures don't contradict. It just contradicts with your thinking, man, with your doctrine, man. You know, you got you still got the Acts 24:1.
I do. Acts 24 in verse 1.
Yeah,
it says,
hold that, bro. I'm gonna read that, and then we're gonna get there, bro.
Okay.
All right. Wow. All right. Now this is from relevantmagazine.com. All right, and it says Christian. It says few words in English language carry as much baggage as this one. It is a loaded label, to be sure. But what's interesting is that, you know, it says Jesus, but, you know, speaking of Yahushua, it said, but what's interesting is that Yahushua never actually gave a name to his followers. The early church never called themselves Christians. In the Bible, the title most often used was saint. The Greek word for saints is hagios, which means consecrated to the Most High, holy, sacred, pious. It is almost always used in the plural saints. This reflects not just the individual, but the connection to a group of people set apart for the Lord and his kingdom. You see? So that word, the main word that was being used was saints, you know, but we understand during the time of Antioch, you know, during the time of the apostles, that the name Christian, you know, was placed upon the believers, all right, upon the saints, you know. So even when you go, matter of fact, y'all can get Revelation 13 and 9, and then Kalabi, you good? You bet you good now? You can hear me, Kalabi?
I don't think he can hear us. Oh, okay.
Hey, get
I'm getting an echo. I can hear you now. I was getting an echo though. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Con.
Get Psalms 140, I think at 149.
17.
Psalms 149 and what verse up?
Hold on, I'll finish to tell you, bro. Just to get some now, get Psalms 148 and 14, bro. And read that real quick.
Con, there's a book of Psalms 148 and 14. That's the one I had. That's the spirit. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai.
Yeah. So just going back to the article, when you're dealing with the saints, it says, but what's interesting is that Yahweh Shai never actually gave a name to his followers. The early church never called themselves Christians. In the Bible, the title most often used was saints. So who are those saints? Israel, you know? And then when you go down, it said this reflects not just the individual, but the connection to a group of people set apart for the Lord and his kingdom. You know? So how can you get around this, man? All right. So we just going through the phase and show you that the saints were the original believers, and that title Christians was slapped upon those believers. You know, then eventually it led to a whole nother doctrine, a whole nother religion that had nothing to do, you know, with the scriptures. You know, so get that in Revelation 13 and 9, bro.
It's Revelation 13 and 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
That's the patience and faith of who are?
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
That's the patience and faith. That's the faith and patience of the Israelites, man. You know, that's what they just saying. All right, not of the Christian. You know, because who they're speaking, right? Who's that they're speaking, man? Yahweh Shai. All right, he never referred to Christianity. The Most High never called his people Christians. You know, and him and his father, Yahweh Shai and the Father, are one in agreement. You know, so they never, all right, put the stamp of Christianity, all right, upon the followers, man. You know, now when you go into it, it says, I'm gonna go back into the article. It says some cultural context might help. It said Antioch. Matter of fact, let me go up a little bit. It says the early church was called Christians by the powers that be for the first time in Antioch. All right, which is Acts 11:26. And it says it was given, it wasn't a name Yahweh Shai disciples gave themselves. It was a name given to them by the society in Antioch. But why a new name for this group of Hamashiach followers? Why? From the perspective of outsiders, weren't they simply lumped in with all the other variants of the Jews' faith? It says some cultural context might help. Antioch was referred to as all the world in one city. You know, so Antioch was a lot of different cultures and religions and paganism and all these different things. It says where you can see all the world's richness and diversity in one place, and the marketplace was this hub. Oh, Salaki. It said Antioch was designed like most cities of that day, a circular wall on the outside and marketplace in the center, with the interior of the city walled in way that divided different people groups from one another. That always brings to mind this map of Chicago divided by race. And it says, enter Yahweh Shah followers entered the gospel. The church came to Antioch and began breaking down the dividing barriers in a way that upset the society's existing categories. People from all parts of the city, Jews and Gentiles alike, were suddenly coming together. This group of people was redefining community in a radical and unprecedented way, so much so that a new word was needed to categorize what in the world was happening, you know? So it was nothing, that word Christianity was nothing, was just a term to categorize the believers, you know, because you had some rich, you had some poor, you know, you had Israelite foreigners at that time, you know. So to put them and lump them all together, he slapped that term, you know, Christians on them, you know, in Antioch, man, and that was by outsiders, all right, people that didn't believe, you know. So when you go, you get the Acts 24:1, bro.
Yeah, so that really was like that Christianity was like a reproach.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah, I got the Acts 11:26 as well.
You can bring that out and then you can get the Acts 24:1 on top of my.
Okay, come on.
This Acts 11 and 26. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch.
Yep, just like the the article says, man. You know, the disciples, all right, were called Christians, man. But the disciples didn't call themselves it. You know, you got it, bro.
Then it said on 27, in these days came prophets from Jerusalem unto Antioch. This is on that.
You want to expound on that? Or that was it, bro.
Nah, that's pretty much what you was just saying about the article. You know, they're just something made up. You know.
Come on, bro. You got it.
I got a remote. This Acts 13:1, which it says, now there was in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon. And, you know, Simeon was Peter. It says that was called Niger. And when you go into that Niger, you know where you get nigger from. So like Antioch was known, like you say, for putting names on our people. You know, that's where you got that nigger, you know, go back to Antioch too, man.
Which means black. You go into that word, you know, because the prophets were black, you know.
Yeah, with dark skinned men.
Yep, just proving who the real Christians, you know, were.
You know, you got it, bro.
Well, back to your precept, Acts 24 and verse 1. It says, and after 5 days, Ananias, the high priest, descended with the elders and with a certain orator named Tertullus, who informed the governor against Paul. And when he was called forth, Tertullus began to accuse him, saying, seeing that by thee we enjoy great quietness, and that very worthy deeds are done unto the nation by thy providence.
Yeah, so you had Jake, you know, cooning and tap dancing for Esau, you know, these damn Edomites, these Romans, you know, kissing up to him, and then he's finna make his complaint about the Apostle Paul and his followers, man. You know, the followers of Yahushua, you know, which is the same thing that they finna do today, man. These niggas finna start complaining. You can see T.D. Jakes saying the same thing in the White House to Trump, man. You know, since you become president, you know, things have been going better. America's becoming great again, you know. But you got these GMS guys, you know, out there on the streets, you know. So you can see the same thing getting ready to happen, letting you know that these were the truth, you know. But their term Christianity had nothing to do, all right, with the gospel, man. You know, but just showing you how the same thing was going on back then. We living out the book of Acts right now, man. You know, you got it, bro.
Want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going, bro.
All right, picking back up in verse 3. We accepted always and in all places, most noble Felix, with all thankfulness. Notwithstanding that I be not farther tedious unto thee, I pray thee that thou wouldest hear us of thy clemency a few words.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. For we have found
listening fellow, you know, and he like he causing upheaval in the whole world, man. Just like the word is doing today. All right, and you know, all right.
Buffering.
You said what, bro?
So I think buffering.
Nah, it's good on my end, bro.
Is it still going?
Yep.
Okay, come on, not sliding.
I get nah, that was it, bro. That's the fourth verse.
Yeah, that was the fourth verse. Can I get a quick precept?
Yeah, you got it, bro.
Hey, yeah, because you know that's a part of you go back to Deuteronomy 28, which I'm about to grab now, in verse 37. That was a part of the curses that we were gonna have all these different labels, these worthless names placed upon us, man.
Yeah,
you know. This Deuteronomy 28 and 37. It says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. You know, so you know, through the process of us going through all these different captivities, these different kingdoms was always placing different names on us, man. You know, you had Daniel and his companions. They all got different names, you know. Then when we went through the Hellenization under the Greeks, we got different names placed on us. We got Greek names, Babylonian names, you know, all the way up until now. You know, we got these American, so-called American names, man.
Yeah.
You know,
even like I say, point, because even the term Jews, you know, Jews is not what we refer to ourselves as Jews.
Right.
You know? That was during the Babylonian captivity when that name was put on us, man. You know, but now we coming back fully to who we are, man. You know, so I'm gonna get this article and then we can
yeah, I get quick precept.
You got whatever y'all got, bring it up, bro.
This 2 Timothy 2 and 9. It said, wherein I suffer trouble, it's an evildoer, even unto bonds, but the word of the Most High is not bound. You know, going back to that Acts 24:1, they were really persecuting him, you know, calling him a ring sect. So I'm gonna read 10. It said, therefore I endure all things for the elect's sakes, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Hamashiach Yahushua with eternal glory. It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with them. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he also deny us, man. We go into that because we the so-called Christians, you know, the Jews, they was always getting persecuted back then, man. They was always suffering for the name of the Lord, man. You know.
All for the faith, man. You know, and everybody back in their lot, today. We, through the spirit, we got to be that generation, that came up during the time of Acts, man, because uh, there had to be camps in order for them to put their name on us. That mean we was out. Just we was in the midst, we was in the marketplace, man. So I'm gonna go get that. It's another article about the Christian name. All right, and it said, and now this is a good one. This is the one I sent you, brothers. It says the Sabbath covenant. It's a pretty good article. And it goes into the origins of the word Christian. It says very few people realize that the term Christian was a very popular pagan label associated with many pagan cults long before the Messiah lived and died. In fact, the followers of Mithras, Helios, and Osiris, all Christos in Greek. You had Christos, Mithras, Christos, Helios, Christo, Osiris, and Krishma in Sanskrit for Christ. It says, as followers of the pagan Christ were called Christians, the followers of Yahushua the Messiah were called by a very specific name, and it was never Christians, it was Nazarenes, all right, which we read. All right, it says, see Acts 24:5, Acts 28:22. It said the question that begs to be asked is the following. All right, it said, what would a bunch of Israelites that practiced the Torah of Yahweh and followed a Messiah, all right, it say Jewish, but we know it's talking about Jew Messiah, all right, because Yahweh sprung out of Judah, all right, so follow a Messiah, which means anointed king, be doing with a Greek term used by pagan as a label for themselves. They wouldn't and they didn't. Are we to search out the Greco-Roman roots or the Hebrew origins of our faith? One of them hinders and clouds our understanding, and the other is essential to it. Should we defend the Greek term or abandon it and use the term Nazarenes, the term Yahushua and his followers were really known by, which we're not going to call ourselves, Nazarenes, but we're believers in the hopeful elect, man. We're the prophets, Lord willing, we're the men of the Lord coming back. You see? And it says the term Christos. If the precept come to y'all mind, just bring it out, bro. Or y'all want to make a point, let me know. Paul. And it says the term Christos is Greek and is defined as meaning anointed, although it is treated as a translation for the Hebrew word Mashiach. It uses the Greek language. Its use in the Greek language is derived from a completely different application. It is a Greek word, and in fact, not a translation of the Hebrew word at all. The term Christos was more of a medical term because healers in the Greek culture use all manner of tinctures for various ailments, some taken eternally and other used topically. The first two letters in Christos are CHI, RHO, and appear X, CHI, and RHO. If you put these together, they form the RX symbol, still used today in the pharmaceutical and apothecary trade, who mixed and weighed dosages of medication for the sick. And we know that goes back to witchcraft when you look up pharmacia, It goes back to witchcraft or to falsify, man, So it said the Greek's tongue blended sounds in strange ways, producing combinations like DZ and others. As early as 200 BC, there were pagan worshippers of Serapis. They called themselves Christians. You see, that's in 200 BCE. Yahushua, they got Yahushua being born, all right, in 4 AD, So that's 204 years prior to Yahushua. If you go to history, man, So these Christians, they think that they're worshiping something that has its origins in the Messiah, but it doesn't, man. And they're just part of the deception of Esau Edom. If a brother want to get Revelations, did the brother have some?
I got some out.
Yeah, you can get that, and the brother get Revelation chapter 20.
Yeah, this is the precept the brother I like to bring out.
You got it, bro.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 26, and I'm gonna start at verse. I'm gonna start at verse 12. And this little Apostle Paul, it says, whereupon as I went to Damascus with authority and commission from the chief priest at midday, O king, I saw in the way a light from heaven above the brightness of the sun shining round about me, and them which journeyed with me. And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me and saying in the Hebrew tongue. Okay, so from this point on, everything that was spoken was in Hebrew, but it says, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks, which that was all in Hebrew. Verse 15, and I said, who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Yahushua, whom thou persecutest.
Yeah.
So considering the fact that Apostle Paul spoke Greek, all right, why would the Heavenly Father be speaking to Apostle Paul in Hebrew? Because he also spoke Hebrew, but that's the language of the heavens, man.
Yeah.
That's the tongue of the Lord, which he wouldn't have been called, which back then it would have been what? Iesus, all right? Yeah. Iesus Christos,
yeah.
He would have had a Hebrew name, man.
It's just the docile nature of Christianity, and I say we was in darkness, man. That's how much darkness we was in as a Christian, for brothers who came up as Christians, we reading that, we think, that the Lord came down speaking in English, Said Jesus, man, because a Christian read that and he'll ignore the part that you said he spoke in the Hebrew tongue and say Jesus,
Yeah.
Sit your dumb ass down, man.
Because that Hebrew go back to Lashwan Kadash, which means the pure tongue, the holy tongue. Like Tazbaka said, that's the heavenly language, man. Then like in the articles brought out like all the pagan holidays, the pagan gods, and that's Constantinople. He did. Willie had the Council of Nicaea. He put all that together, man. And that's the same thing back up today.
Yep.
Basically made it just Constantine made it where you just basically had just a big religious buffet to choose from. And everybody be cool with each other.
Yeah, that's why they come from that love doctrine. Lord just come back and save everybody, man.
Yeah, he did the R. Kelly remix. Let me go back in the article. It says
you had one to Revelation.
Yeah.
What did you say? 20 and what, bro?
Start at 7, bro. We get straight to the point.
All right, this Revelation 20 and 7. It says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
And Satan, all right, not talking about, all right, a giant lizard with horn, coming out of a big hole in the earth, They're talking about, all right, the children of Satan, Esau, Edom, being loosed, out of where they was pushed out from, going back to the Caucasus Mountains, in Eastern Europe, man. You see, they came back into power, all right, during the Renaissance. That's when they was loose, all right, from being shut off, man, which means they was where they wasn't able to influence the earth in wickedness. They weren't able to deceive. You know, they wasn't able to set up any empires. You know, and conquer, man. You know, like they did during the Greeks and the Romans. You know, but then they came back into power. You know, and they went forth deceiving. All right, throughout the earth, man. As it's finna say, read it, bro.
Right. That's that period where Esau called the dark ages.
Yeah.
When Jacob ruled.
Come.
It says verse 8, it says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
Yeah, so the scriptures just do a big jump. You know, it talks about when he's loose, he went and deceived the nation throughout the four winds of the earth, which he deceived everybody with this Christianity. This Christianity that there's nothing but paganism and Satanism that has nothing to do, you know, with the Bible, you know, and he deceived a lot of people, you know, with this doctrine, man. 2.2 billion Christians across the planet Earth, man. You know, so from his time coming out during the Renaissance and him going deceiving, it's going to end, all right, with this World War III war, all right, that's going to be spearheaded, all right, by Russia, man. You know, so when you go back into the article, it says in the Vatican, one can view an original pagan relief depicted Mithras with the word Christos Mithras, meaning good Mithras, all right, and this is in the Vatican, man, and we know there's nothing but a satanic, all right, pagan altar, man. It has nothing to do with the Bible, man. They make up stuff as they go, man. The Pope just said what homosexuality ain't sin anymore, man. You know, they still read it, man. You know,
hey, the movie, the Borgias on Netflix, they show you that they were doing the same thing, just making up decrees as they go to justify their wickedness.
Yeah,
you know, the same thing the Pope doing now. Hey, ain't nothing doing under the sun, you know.
Yeah, it's false prophet, man. You know, so it said Mithraism was the main pagan religion of ancient Rome and became blended with the Messiah of Israel through the compromises of the Nicene Council headed by Constantine and his son Crispus in 325 and 326. It says the followers of Mithras, Constantine included, were called Christians. You know? So when they say Constantine was the first Roman Empire that was a Christian, he was following Mithras, man. You know? How stupid can you be?
Then if I can add too, I noticed something today when that Jay came to Yakinan's shop, he had the ID 2020. He was showing it around. Then when you hold up to the light, in the corner of it, it's a picture. It's like a glow behind you. That goes back to that. To go back to that little glow, the sun god and shit.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like everything back here today. You know, reincarnated. The spirit back here today. You know? Because the Mithras, I think they go back to Apollo, the sun god, too.
Yeah, Mithras, and then you had Apollos. That was the main religion. Which, let me see. It says the Greco. I'm finish this article, then we can get whatever information y'all got about Constantine. It said the Greco-Roman mind of translators gave preference to Greek over Hebrew language and played down the Hebrew terminology in order to make everything more acceptable to the pagan culture of the unwashed, uneducated masses. You know, and we know them people back reincarnated the uneducated masses. And it said they literally blended the holy scriptures with the worship of the Greek pantheon, and this is the context in which Christianity was created. You know, so this form of Christianity that our people worship today is nothing really but the Greek pantheon, man. You know, so I just want to get one scripture. Then I said, whatever information y'all got, whatever scripture y'all got about Constantine, I got an article to bag y'all brothers up. So I just want to get one scripture with Jeremiah 2 and 33.
You want me to get it, bro?
Yeah, any brother can get it on my. Yeah.
You said Jeremiah 2:33.
Yep.
All right. All right, come. This Jeremiah 2:33. Why tremblest thou away to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways.
Yeah, because when you go back to Constantine in this modern day Christianity, you know, he's the source of a lot of that, man. And he did that to seek love, man.
Yep.
You know, and he taught the wicked ones his ways because Esau just picked up where that nigga left off, man. And ran with it, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, he continued the Christianity that these people worship today is a continuation of that pagan, all right, Christianity that Constantine founded when he was the emperor, man. You know, so yeah, y'all got it, bro. What y'all want?
I got a precept to that.
I got a quick one. You got it, bro.
What you got? I get the precept for y'all. What you want, y'all to
know? John 8 and 40. 44.
Come. All right, this the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44. It said, "Ye are of your fathers the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do."
Yeah, that's Constantine. He of his father Esau. He really started like you were just saying, bro, and Esau followed him, but that's that same spirit, you know.
Yep.
They got now.
Yep. And it says he was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh of a lie, he speaketh of his own, and he is a liar and the father of it.
Yeah, just going into Esau Edom, man, you know, and his lies. But hey, our people just like him, man. they see his ways and follow right out.
Yeah, he lied for his own benefit. No, that's what Esau do. He lied for his benefit.
Right.
And that's what that nigga did, man. You know. And what you got?
I had Jeremiah 5:26.
Jeremiah 5:26. I got you, bro. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, verse 26. It said, "For among my people are found wicked men, they lay wait as he that set of snares, they set a trap, they catch men." Woo. Yeah, that nigga had that on his t-shirt, man, on his garment, man. You know, I think like to get the scripture tattooed on him.
Yeah,
that nigga Constantine get tattooed on it because he set a lot of snares and traps up and caught men, man. You know, because if you can get someone to believe a lie, you know, that's like death, man. Yeah, what you had, Tyler Mark?
Brother can get Jeremiah 10:2. Or you start at the top and then get Mark 7 and verse 7 first, and then read through verse 9. Mark 7 and 7 through verse 9. Because when you go really into it, you understand why Babylon the Great is the chief kingdom, all right, that's prophesied to fall. Because really Rome even go back to the customs of Babylon with the sun worship, you know, with the different pagan gods. It's all the same gods with different names at the end of the day, you know.
Yep.
So if a brother can get Mark 7 and 7, and then we'll get I got a little piece on Constantine, and then we can get Jeremiah the 10th chapter.
I got the Mark, and brother get that Jeremiah. This Mark 7 and 7. It said, "Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for the doctrines the commandments of men."
Yep. And you got Constantine, who like you say, he remixed the whole Bible, added different philosophies, you know, really just allow everybody to add their own vain opinion and twist to the scriptures, and ultimately what pleased men, what was incorporated into the scriptures, you know.
It says, verse 8, it said, for laying aside the commandment of the Most High, ye hold the tradition of men as the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things you do. And he said unto them, full well you reject the commandment of the Most High, that ye may keep your own tradition.
Yep. And that's what you got our people doing. The number one commandment is to love the Lord first, to hear his commandments, and then to love him and not have any other gods before him, man. You know, but in order to keep these vain traditions, which they pay homage to all these different gods, which chiefly go back to Babylon, you know, go back to Babylon, you know, they completely reject and forsake the laws of the Lord, you know. Well, we always been doing this, you know, for Christmas, for instance, which I'm about to bring this article out, you know, which Constantine, he started that, you know. This is from Google. It said the church in Rome began formally celebrating Christmas on December 25th in 336
Damn.
AD during the reign of the Emperor Constantine. So this is like the major holiday that our people go off on, thinking that they paying homage to the most high, you know, going back to Mark where it say what? They worship me in vain. But you're not worshiping the Messiah, Yahweh Shai at all, you know. You are completely indulging in Babylonian worship of what is it, Tammuz, Nimrod, and Semiramis, man. You know.
Hey, also Easter too,
yeah, Easter too, you know.
Yep. I tell you that in Jeremiah, was that Jeremiah 10 and 2?
Yeah, brother can bring that out. Yep, that's the next scripture I was gonna bring out.
Now I want
bro. Yeah, you can bring it out. Come start at the top.
I got something else for you too, bro. If you want to
go ahead.
All right. This is from reformation.org, and it says Constantine changed the time of the resurrection of the Lord. It says the Christians, now we can replace Christians with believers. All right. The believers remember the Lord's resurrection every Sabbath or Lord's Day. In addition, there was a big yearly week-long celebration of the resurrection held 14 days after the first moon following the spring equinox. It always coincided with the yearly, Passover of the Jews. In 325, Constantine presided over the Council of Nicaea, which he changed the time of the Lord's resurrection to the first Sunday. All right, which goes back to what? The sun god Apollos and Mithraism, man. You know, or Lord's Day following the spring equinox. You know, so he brought in Christmas. This nigga brought in Easter. You know, they're doing what the hell he wanted to do.
Yeah,
a nigga might be boosted. Goddamn,
worship what you want.
Y'all got it.
That's why people celebrate just worship the Lord on Sundays only too, man.
Yeah,
that's sun god worship shit, man.
Yeah.
That's that Ezekiel too, Yakanan, if you want to bring that out.
Did you want me to get that Jeremiah first?
Yeah, get the Jeremiah, just, you know, breaking down, you know, the whole Christmas thing, you know, which brothers know it. You know, I just wanted to bring it out since you just brought up the fact that it was incorporated by Constantine in 336 AD. You know, December 25th, 336 AD.
All right, this Jeremiah 10 and 1. it says, hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Verse 2, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Verse 3, for the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hand of the workman with the axe.
Yep. And that tree represent what? Nimrod penis, man. You know,
Yep.
going back to Babylonian worship, man. You know, that's what our people do every year. They don't even know why they do it. They just, you know, it's something that been going on. They don't know how long it's been going on. It's just been going on ever since they've been in the world. So we just gonna keep doing, not knowing what the hell I'm doing. You know, just it look good. You know,
follow tradition. Hey, that's how our people do. They just follow what. Well, my grandmama did it, and her mama did it. Big mama did it, so I'm gonna do it too. And don't ask no questions. Just
hey, bro.
just blindly following these traditions.
Yep.
Yep.
What was you saying?
Yeah. I got
that was the point.
I got something to bag you up, bro.
Come.
All right, this is back in the Reformation.org. It said the first month of the Jewish calendar, all right, was the calendar of the Jews, all right, the Hebrew calendar, all right. It said the first month of the Hebrew year is the equivalent of our March and April. 6 months later would be equivalent to our August, September. According to the Bible, Mary conceived in the 6th month. And in the 6th month, this is Luke 1:26 and 27. It says, and in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from the Most High to the city of Galilee named Nazareth to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. Said 9 months later would take us to April or May. You know? So people say the Bible don't say when he was born. Well, it actually does. You know?
Yeah.
We don't make a doctrine out of it. You know, we don't come up with an exact date, but we know what time frame it was, man. You know? So it said 9 months later would take us to April or May of the Hebrew year and the correct time of the birth of Yahweh Shai. It says lambing season is also in the springtime when the shepherds would be outdoors watching the sheep. All right. When the angels came to the shepherds, man, and let them know about the birth of Yahweh Shai, you know. So that cuts, all right, December 25th, man. In the words of a priest of Abaya, all right, if you're still a Christian in 2020, you super stupid.
You super stupid. hey, though, Yash, that make perfect sense, because you think about the spring is the time where everything come to life, you know. So the everything, you know, the Lord would have been, it would have only make sense that the Lord would have been born during that time, you know, during the spring, you know, not in the dead winter, man.
Right.
You know?
Hey, can I get that Ezekiel real quick? That's all I had.
Another point real quick, Salaki, I was gonna say too, before it escaped me. It's also the time of the first fruits, you know.
Come, bro. Come. Hey, it's super spiritual. You have a shot being the firstborn of every creature, man.
Firstborn of every creature.
Woo! Come on, man. You can't make this up.
I know you had one too, then.
No, you got it, Aki.
All right. This is Ezekiel. I'm trying to see, should I start up? I'm gonna just get right to it. Think I should start up?
Where you at?
Ezekiel 8. Think I'm gonna go. I was
Like
gonna
around
go right to
16.
16. I think I'm gonna go up to 12 though.
Let me see where you at, bro.
I think the point in like 16 though.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was gonna get right to the point. Point in 16.
Yeah,
You jump around in it.
yeah, you go 16, bro.
Just go right to 16. All right. This Ezekiel 8:16.
No, matter of fact, so like start at 13, bro.
13.
13.
Come.
Yeah.
Okay. Ezekiel 8:13. It says, he said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do.
All right.
It says, then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz.
Mm-hmm. And Tammuz is who, man? The daughter. I mean, not the daughter, but the son. You know, of Semiramis and Nimrod, man. You know, so you got the whole that whole vibration of Semiramis, Tammuz, and Nimrod. That's where you get the virgin birth from, the immaculate conception. You know, that's where you get baby Jesus from. That's where you get the Holy Trinity from. That's where you get Christianity from. Christmas from, and Easter, man. You know,
Queen of Heaven.
Queen of Heaven, man. You know, and that's what our people worship today, man. Like you got Issachar, you know, the Latin tribes, which we were studying it by how after the Spanish Inquisition, all of them became Roman Catholics, man, which is rooted in what? The worship of Mary, you know, which is woman worship, the Queen of Heaven, all right, Guadalupe, you know. So there's nothing new under the sun, man. The same people come back doing the same thing in the same spirit, man. You know.
Hey, it's a car heavy with that too, cause the Mexican restaurant we go to, hey, they got idols all up through there, man.
Yeah, they got Mary big as you in there. All right, leaning all over you while you eating the quesadilla. This nigga right here.
God. Verse 15, it says, then said he unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these.
Yeah, so it gets worse.
Yeah, it's just the beginning. It says, and he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they worship the sun toward the east. Yep. Going into that Sunday worship, man. What Constantine was all about, man. That what was that guy named Apollos, the sun god?
Yeah.
Because he set up that arch of Constantine, so it'll be facing where the sun be facing, like, you know what I'm saying? I forget how they said it in that series or whatnot. But he had it set up a certain kind of way so the sun will be beaming like directly on top of his head, you know. Yeah, so they was heavy into that, man, and the believing that about the sun god and worshiping the sun and stuff. Yep.
That's why
that's all I had.
That's why you had them stained windows in the churches, man. You know how they got the stained windows in the churches?
Yeah, what you say, bro? Them glass stained windows.
Yeah.
Yep.
So y'all, anybody had anything else, man?
I ain't had nothing else, bro.
That was it for me, bro.
So I'm I guess I'll get one more and then close it out, bro. Get it in Colossians. Hey, Shalom, El Gazak, Yahabashima Shabrakata.
Hey, Shalom, El. Shalom.
Yeah, you can call me too, Elder, if you want, bro. I'm on the laptop, so the phone free. If you want chime in. All right, this is Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. It says, "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of this world, and not after Yahweh Shai." You see? So our people follow the rudiments of this world, and it's not after Yahweh Shai. You know, they follow a whole nother savior, they follow a whole nother doctrine, they follow a whole nother vibration. You know, they had nothing to do with the scripture, man. You know? So we go into the word rudiments. All right. And it says, it said any first thing from which the others belong to some series or composite whole take their rise and element first principle, man. You know? So the principle of this modern day Christianity, all right, is not rooted in Yahweh Shai, but through the rudiments of men, you know, for their own agendas, man, because the Bible has been used a lot, all right, for people's, you know, different monarchies and different governments, all right, personal, you know, agenda, man, you know, which we're going to get into that later on, you know, in the series, Lord will, you know, but it's it with that, you know, I say, any brothers got anything?
I had one. I know it was in Psalms where it said the Lord was gonna give us the heritage of the heathen. Oh, and yep. I got it out. This the book. This the book of Psalms, chapter 111. Chapter 111 and verse. Verse 6, it say, "He hath shewed his people the power of his work, that he may give them the heritage of the heathen." So, you know, the Lord also said in Jeremiah that we was going to discontinue from our heritage too, man. You know, and the way that he calls us to do that is by going through all these different captivities, man. You know, we got to a point now that we so far lost, we so far gone that you know, we think that we are actually serving the Lord and paying homage to the Lord through the way that we worship, man. You know, and Christianity is the number one deceiver of our people, man.
That's why the truth is a miracle. Us waking up and believing, that's a miracle. With all these stumbling blocks, you know, that were set before us, and all this deception, you know, witchcraft, man. You know, us having this ministry and having a sound mind to believe, you had to come from the spirit world, you know, because there's no way we would figure this out on our own. All right, within this man's kingdom with all these snares and traps, man. You know.
Yep. And like you always say too, Ayash, Christianity has nothing to do with the Bible.
Nothing. Yeah, they don't. You can go to church and not take the Bible and get the same sermon. It won't even yeah, well, with that, you know, we hope you brothers edified the few sisters, you know, that watch as well, you know, the water for everybody tuning in, you know. So with that, all right, we're gonna give praises to Yahweh.
Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem,
you know, double honor. LG mentioned rule well, you know, and we ended, you know, with the elder precept. All right, and it's John 4:22. It says, "Ye worship, you know not what. We know what we worship for salvation of the Jews, man, of Israel, the saints, man. And these people don't know what the hell they going to church and worshiping, man. You know, but that's it. You know, a Bible ball. You know, destruction of Babylon. You know, Kwam Yashala. You know, Shalom.